So I've got 10 minutes to show you how I farm TT23 with my BM, double client with my SYN. So the first thing I do is look at the auction house to see what's available, and 2.3 is oftentimes the best cave to go to. I'm going to go open the cave. I need to find 2 more people besides mine. Had friends alts come in, and we're opening 2. Here we go. Are you all ready to go? Now I have to bring my SYN with me. She has to be on follow. Whenever my screen pauses, it's because I'm looking at my SYN momentarily. Alright, I'm going to clear all these mobs, and the reason why is you have to have a certain kill count in order to kill the bosses. Otherwise, they're frenzied and they're really almost next to impossible to kill. Unless you're ridiculously OP, which I am not. Alright, so I'm just going to clear all these. Jump back and there we go. My SYN is stuck back there somewhere. Alright. Go through these hands. Now this first boss is, you can't do anything about it. He drops a mat that really doesn't sell very well, but you have to kill him in order to keep going. So I've got my SYN on a macro that's rib striking. Just take him down. It's really nice to have Sage HF the moment that happened. I'm able to HF every other spark, basically. Whereas normally a BM has to wait for their genie to completely replenish so they can use Cloud Eruption, which takes about 4 to 5 sparks to do that. Okay, so the first boss is down. We're going to head in here and we're going to clear all these mobs as well. I'm going to gather these 4 here, and then I'm going to just take one shot at them. Because if I don't do that, by the time I get to this point, a bunch of them will reset. So I have to just kind of stop and hit them once. Take all these. Bring in my SYN. I always pick up every drop. I'm just like that. Okay. Sometimes I bring my cleric here. Reason why is Warlord. Sometimes it's nice to have a BB just sitting there when you kill the Warlord boss. But today I'm just doing solo, and just to show you that it can be soloed as well. Okay, so this is the last of the mobs that I'll be killing, basically. All right, so we're just gonna pull Warlord 4 times. So I'm always looking for the one that has more than 1,000,000 HP. It has usually about 8 million HP, I think. And as a BM, its chi management is just a pain in the neck, so I always have to be conscious of where my chi status is. And you'll notice it's hard to, you saw it. There's a shadowless kick just before I started killing this guy. It's because that fire attack is really, really brutal. It hurts. I mean, you can see my HP going down a lot lower than the other bosses. If I shadowless kick him, I don't get hit by magic right at the beginning, and it's much easier to recover. Alright, there we go. So this is 3. I really like using BM. I find that because, especially for 2-3, it's almost made for a BM. That you can, by the way, sneak up and just get that guy without aggroing the rest. But because BM is HA, I find that my HP is much more stable when I hit these bosses, especially a couple of them, which is all physical, and it's really, really hard on the damage. So, all right. So we're going to do General Fang. I usually skip General Fang. His mats are not worth a lot, even though they actually are in high demand. You need them for your HA and LA ornaments if you want to be an Apps toon. And I find that 2-3 is very productive in terms of the amount that you can make. There's, I think, 7 different mats that you can get from this instance, and of those, 9 different mats, and of those, 7 are in demand. And when I say demand, I mean high demand. You could easily on a good day make about 5 mil per run. A lot of people like to do 3-1 because of the ribbons, but I think cumulatively 2-3 definitely brings more money in. Right here, I'm going to sneak right past the circle. You can see there's a little gap there. So even if the hands are exploding, it won't hit you. And so I always go through there just as a safety measure. This boss hits really hard. 100% physical. I suggest for BMs you keep your physical Maro on, especially if you're in APS gear, because your HP and some of your defenses are lower. So it's best to use just physical Maro. My physical Maro is at about 32.2k when I have my physical defense is at that point if I use physical Maro. Again, my sin is there on a macro rib striking him. Because I made this sin in order to run TT, so I have to clear my bag. So of course she's a Sage sin. Totally spoiled. Okay, just going to wait for a minute. I've got my sin in stealth, and she's going to go into the next room, past all these mobs, and then I'm going to rush them. So here we go. I put my magic Maro on just in case. And I gotta wait for the hands. There we go. And not too bad. Alright, so this room, this is the reason why I have to have my sin following me the whole time. You have to have another squad member here in order to summon the boss. So I'm just passing time now. I think it takes about 2 to 3 minutes, and then the boss comes out. I'm just going to use Far Strike and bring the boss over. Got some Maro on. I run to that corner because I find it's the easiest way to get the boss in position. Sometimes the boss attacks you while his whole body's in the wall, and if that happens, all the drops are going to get stuck. And if you ever see that happening, just you see where the circle is on the floor where you selected the boss, just rotate him around until his body's in an open area, and then it'll be fine. That's the easiest way I find. Okay, so the next boss, Astral Walker, because I don't have a cleric with me, I'm going to have to wait until he's in a certain position. I'm looking for the back right side. So he's about to move there now. There he goes. Okay, so off I go. This guy is 100% physical, but he spawns magic mobs, and the magic hits really hard. So I'm going to take them all down. First one is there. I put myself between the boss and where I expect the mobs to spawn. I save my HF for them. If you don't kill the mobs fast enough, their defense goes way, way up, and you do only about 10% damage. And if you're relying on BP to heal yourself, that's going to be really tough. So the next mob is going to come out here. That's why I'm standing here now. Should come out any moment now. There it is. So this is the second to last boss. The valuable mats. I'm just going to kill this other mob as well, just in case this other ad. The valuable mats from this boss is the Astral Stones, which at one point in time were only worth about 1k, and now they sell for 450k or something like that, because they're needed for TT daggers. So the last mobs, there are going to be 3 of them that come out. I'm hoping that I won't aggro most of them. And that's why I go into this corner. So I got lucky here. I only have 1 mob, and it happens to be the melee mob. So you can see that the boss doesn't move once you hit him. He just hits you physical and just stays in one place. So you can't adjust anymore. Okay, so coming up here, I'm just going to say it ahead of time. You see where the NPC is. You go to the stairs to the right of him, to his left, but to the right of screen. And that's where we're going to jump off to kill the next boss. It's really important that you do that because there's only one spot where you can push the boss so that you can be safe, and it's in that one corner that I'm going to go right now. So I've tabbed the boss, and I'm going to push him by just going right up to the circle where I've selected him, and he just basically backs off, and I get up here once he's in position. This boss, even though it looks like he's casting magic, he's 100% physical attack. So, and we bring him up here because you can see now the mobs are running around those spawn mobs. They have a lot of HP. It takes a while to kill them. Plus, they hit really hard. And so if you don't have to bother with them, it's really nice. And so pushing the boss by getting right up against that selected circle really helps a lot. This is another boss where you keep your P-Maro on. He starts to hit harder and harder as his HP goes down, and that P-Maro is going to be very important to stay alive. You can do this with regular level 10 BP as well. You don't have to have Sage. Sage just does make it easier, though, I admit. Alright, so he's almost done. And you're going to see a fantastic drop here. So when I looked in the auction house earlier, I looked for Dust of Devil, and there was 0. And here they dropped 6. And I find that there's a good coordination between the two. So there it is.